that should be our topic. And that is related to the sins, the step number 5. Let us go slowly. Meditation, if we say it is a primary practice in yoga, tantra, Eastern wisdom, then meditation is like a medicine. Meditation is like a meditation. You go to a doctor, you have a fever, so they prescribe you medicine. They don't talk about the state of well being. That is the result. They say, okay, here are the pills, take it for a week, and then come back, we'll have a follow up. No symptoms, you are good to go. The state of well being. Now, if meditation is a medicine, how long we have to take it? How long we have to take it? Until I bring an end to the suffering and awakening takes place. After that, whatever I'm doing, it doesn't mean that, I should fall back into the foolishness. So whatever the work I'm doing, nitya, naimitya, karma, that becomes a play and a fun in my life. I plan, that becomes a play and fun. So where lies the problem? Now ask yourself. We are working with Manisha. Where lies the problem? Do I understand the problem correctly? Do I understand my disease correctly? And that will answer your question also. Do I understand my problem correctly? Then treatment is possible. Then what happens? We use the meditation properly. But at one point of time, we understand if meditation is a medicine, then it has its time, it has its limit. Now I have reached to that state. Let me drop this. Even when I drop it, I live in a meditative state. I need not to practice. Then life is under meditative state. We empty the mind for purification. First step. Now the purification is done. We remove the delusion by going into emptiness. Just for example, what Buddha says. First, purification of mind. Second, remove the delusion. Right? Now that emptiness is settled, realized, understood. Even when there are thoughts, I could still see that state of emptiness. Why? Because that emptiness is reflecting my true nature constantly. Why it is not reflecting now? Because that medicine has not affected removal of distraction and removal of delusion. Now, question is that did I understand the problem correctly? Did I understand my disease, illness rightly and properly? Or Someone is forcing you to take this medicine. So now, in India and especially everywhere, also in your country, oh, you have this problem. I have a remedy for it. Everyone becomes an advisor, a consultant. So when we do not understand that problem correctly, then there is sometimes we have what we say. Yeah, yeah. Take another example. In every country, you watch television and there is a television advertisement. In our country, we FDA. It is not approved by FDA. It is written in a very small language because if they don't write it, they will be booked. But then they speak a lot about it. Take this supplementary, this is a supplementary food supplement, and that will take care of all your problems. And then they speak very fast. It is not approved by the FDA. It is not given as a prescription medicine. Then why you are advertising? Simple. So when I apply the Manisha, I know I'm not paying any attention to these things. Now question comes, have I understood the problem correctly? When I understand the problem correctly, then the meditation as a medicine can be applied, and until I know, then I know how long. Sometime what happens, doctor give us a medicine for 6 days, and after 3 days I feel that I'm okay. I normally leave the medicine. When I should leave the medicine, when I understand the problem correctly. At the same time, one thing is also there to understand. No, practice one meditation regularly, focus on the breath, and I'm doing it. Our friend, Guruji, you give Vipassana meditation in every session. I said, I will give it. But then I changed the practice. He whispers in my ears, Guruji, every session, 15 minutes. I said, understand that for every disease, intensity, severity of the symptom, the meditation practices must be different. You see, since the beginning we met, I always give a different practice.
Yeah.
Uh, so, what happens when you follow one meditation? Normally, what happens? The mind makes it a habit, then it becomes a cult, it becomes a dogma, it becomes a belief, it becomes a religion. And if the medicine becomes a religion, cult, and dogma, what will happen to our disease? God knows. That is why we have a teacher and that you already know the teacher and. Now I go back. What is the disease? What is the disease? I'm answering your question also, and then we will go deeply. What is the disease? Yesterday I was happy doing Nitya Karma, and today I'm not happy. I'm fully busy. You see that? So the mind is moving in a circle. Mind is moving in a circle. Today I did it, I'm happy. Tomorrow I did it, I'm not happy. Next day I will do it, I'll be happy. Again, next day I'm not happy, I'm stressed. You see that? So we are running in that cycle. It's a kind of a circle. How many times we have done Nitya Karma, and how many times we were happy, and how many times we were unhappy. So when you perform the Nitya Karma, my friend, then there is no question of happiness and unhappiness. I have done it. I have gone to the restroom, thrown out the garbage, and finished. Why should I think of it? But I'm thinking. When I'm thinking, it is creating a cycle, like a like a wheel of a car. Now we have, designed spokes of a wheel. Wheel also. If you buy, they say something I don't remember. Uh, they say, you see this, this car will cost you 2,000 more. Look at the wheel, the spokes of a wheel. Similarly, I'm moving in a circle. So the disease now have six spokes. Six in a wheel, car. First is what we say adharma. Adharma, dukkha, pain, and then adharma, dukkha, and dvesha. Dvesha. Rag, dvesh, you see, attachment, detachment, and that causes the jealousy and the delusion. These are three. And opposite is dharma, sukha, and attachment. Now apply this in our daily life. Today I talked to someone who is near to me, and he or she was happy. And tomorrow I talked in the same way. She and he is unhappy. My nitya karma is destroyed. Why? We are understanding the disease now. Why? There is something in the mind. Something in the mind. And what is how that returns in the mind? In the form of adharma. Adharma means that I don't follow the simple rules of the life, social norms, ethical norms, professional norms, whatever it is. Just take it. Dharma, don't take it as a release. When you come to me to seek something, my nitya karma is to give you the best. Oh, why he has come? He is disturbing me. Adharma. So I'm not in nitya karma. Understand that. So now adharma will give me pain, and the pain will give me jealousy. The next time when you knock the door, I see you are there, and then I avoid you. And then I see that I am getting a benefit from you, and then I move into dharma, and then sukha, and then. So when I get a sukha, then I say, please do come again and again, even if I feel disturbed. So attachment. We are going very deep into the root cause of a disease. Root cause. Now, when I use the word cycle, understand cycle. Wheel. Wheel continues to move again and again in the same way. Okay, is my mind is moving in the same way again and again and again in my relationship, in my social, professional level? Am I working with Manisha? Go back again. But why? Go ahead. Who moves this wheel? Can you guess who is moving this wheel?
Desire.
Avidya. Ignorance. Desire comes because of adharma, dharma, sukha, raga, dvesha. That is secondary. But main problem is avidya, ignorance. 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 Avidya. Now I can talk to you openly. I give different expression to a different group of people. What is avidya? Avidya is foolishness, opposite of manish. I can hammer you. It's simply foolishness. It's a craziness. It's a madness. So now the mind says I'm intelligent, but I'm in avidya. So that is foolishness simply. Why the hell I'm repeating the same thing again and again? That very repetition with these six spokes. So you see, dharma, follow the social, ethical norms, and then I get sukha, the pleasure. Then I get attached to the pleasure. So I want to repeat it. I lose manisha. I enter into the foolishness. Adharma, I don't follow the norms. I enter into pain. I am jealous. And I'm repeating the same thing again and again. Foolishness. Avidya is nothing but foolishness. Ignorance is foolishness. It is delusion. It is attachment. It is detachment. It is, we are inviting pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure cycle in our life. That is foolishness. I know I will suffer, but the mind does not allow me. So it means where is the location of this avidya? Mind.
It's a mind.
Or we can say muscle body. So there are, again, going back and understanding. So if there's six spokes, first it creates the thought pattern in my mind. They are known as vrittis. And these vrittis are classified according to Patanjali: pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra, smriti, factual thought pattern based on the observation of the senses and the mind, false observation based on the senses and the mind, second one. Third is mudha. Mudha means, praman viparya. Viparya means false perception. Vikalpa means imagination and fancies. And nidra, the sleep, and the sleep and memory. Now you see the first layer of the avidya is there. So that is triggering constantly my life. Constant trigger is there in my life. It creates a cycle. We have already understood the six spokes. I'm understanding only first what exactly is the disease. Second level, because there is a constant repetition of the six spokes cycle of my life. And then what happens? We are not going that, that creates the ultimately the law of karma, the cycle of birth and death. That we will take up later. But because I'm repeating it again and again in my life, so it has to create impression in the reservoir of mind, causal body. So those causal body are containing those impressions. So those impressions return again into the mind, takes the shape of the thought pattern. They are known as vasanas or sanskaras or past impression. They cause sins and virtues in my life. I become a sinner. I did not follow Nitya Karma because I am carried away by the six spokes. Huh? Then what happens? Impression is there and its effect is there as a attachment. So I go again for the pleasure by the will of my vasanas and the sanskaras. So the root cause, what is the root cause is avidya, ignorance, foolishness, delusion that give birth to the six factors and depends on these vrittis. One vritti say, why should I plan for the future? Other vritti says, if I do not plan for the future, then I will lose everything. There is a fear also there.
Yeah.
Fear is also there. So now we come back to first the lowest level, that is our sin and virtues. Let us go back to the meditation, which is a medicine. It ends suffering. So when the suffering comes to an end, day by day living, and I awaken to the real self, then my problem is gone. Then I live in a meditative state. Huh? We can also understand in a different way meditation when there is a devoid of any object. There is an objectless state first, which we say emptiness. Okay, now empty, after emptiness we also see there are some trigger of vasana and sanskaras, so I make that sanskaras also totally empty. Mind is empty from the normal thought pattern. Mind is empty from the vasanas. And then the mind, in that emptiness of the mind, what happens? The real self is reflecting. Now it is constantly reflecting. Even when I have thought, even when I plan for the future, it is constantly reflecting. So we have found a solution by knowledge, by understanding. There is another understanding also. We should make it very clear. We are not creating anything in meditation. We are removing the delusion, we are removing the distraction, we are removing the false claim, we are removing the foolishness. And once all these are removed, I see my real nature. I find my real nature. So once I find my real nature, then what happens? Then I'm doing outside, I'm doing the same work. Whether I plan for it, whether I do not plan for it, I am not at all affected. But what is better? At the transactional level, I should definitely plan, project, but remain detached because now those six spokes are gone. They are not there. Avidya is not there. Ignorance is not there. Foolishness is not there. Let me live my life. Let me lie. Why you do one business? Do five businesses. Now, continue that journey of understanding the disease. If we say avidya is a foolishness, it is a delusion, then we can say, with reference to the intellect, it is error in judgment in my day to day life. There is some error in judgment. Where the judgment takes place? In the intellect. Because it has the power of observation, it has to make the choice. So, how the intellect should judge? By viveka. How the viveka should start? By thinking. What kind of a thinking? With reference to the disease, that is avidya. You see the clarity by given us to us by these great masters. That error in judgment. I see a beautiful girl, appears like my wife. An example. Huh? That normally happens to a lot of people nowadays. Now, what there is an error in judgment, but I don't see there is any error in judgment. What will happen to me? I don't see there is an error in judgment. But why don't I see? Six spokes. I'm going back. The cause of a disease. Why the six spokes? Avidya. But why the mind? Why the mind has to make this judgment, whether error in judgment or whether no error in judgment? Because the mind has a tendency to move outside. You see, vikshepa, distraction. But why the mind has a tendency to move outside? Because that mind has not realized the real self. You see the entire cycle? So, which is more powerful? The intellect. Intellect is making an error in judgment. So, intellect should, Manisha should enter here. So, what becomes the, what intellect, what makes the intellect Manisha? I enter into Viveka. How the Viveka comes? By thinking, thinking rightly, thinking by separating real from the unreal. I see a beautiful woman. Intellect claims with error in judgment that may be my honey. Mind, what are you doing? In the store, you are looking at her. The mind has moved outside. Now I'm thinking of real and unreal. What happens? The mind comes down. That foolishness is gone. Okay, if she's there, okay, no problem. No issue. One example. One example, apply that example in everyday life and see that what happens. Then Manisha constantly removes that foolishness. Go a little deeper. So this is I'm talking of the sin also, and I'm also talking of the impressions, the thoughts that enters into my mind. Error by mind. Now, error by mind is habitual, instinctive, and impulsive. Oh, yes, she is or he is. You see that? So impulsive, habitual. The moment we have the impulsive and the habitual movement, my friend, what is going to happen? Six spokes will return instantly. Likes, dislikes from the sense organs, the garbage from the mind, desire, seeking, pleasure, and everything will return. It will create a big movie in my mind instantly. So there is another catch here. Our masters teaches us now that the spoke is there, six spokes in the cycle. That cycle is constantly moving and moving and moving. What happens there? I become the doer. The doer is created in illusion, by delusion. I like it. I must have it. So Manisha is gone. The ego sense comes, and ego sense says, "Let me grab it. I have the resources." So I get it. But why I want to be a doer? Ask yourself. We're going very deeply, step by step. Why I want to be a doer? Why I want to have a why I want to prepare a cup of tea? Why? Because mind says, once you have it, you become the enjoyer. Where is the doer and enjoyer? Ask yourself now. Is body is the doer, enjoyer? Is the sense organ doer, enjoyer? If the sense organ is the doer, then from today, start saying, I am my eyes, I am my ears, I am my tongue, I am my sense of touch, and I am my sense of smell. But you will never say, it is my eyes, eyes are not me. So then, where is the doer? Mind. I am my mind. No. So, how the doer has entered here? Root cause, avidya. I'm not the doer, I'm not the enjoyer. By foolishness, I become the doer, I become the enjoyer. Go back. In Nitya Karma, you are neither the doer, you are not the enjoyer. So why you are worried about and absorbed in Nitya and then Amitya Karma? There is no reason. Do you see that clarity? That is the beauty of our. Once we are understanding the disease and we know where lies the solution. So, why we practice meditation? To remove that delusion. But we cannot directly remove that avidya. We have to remove the distractions, the thought pattern, the punch, five thought pattern. huh? Then we have to remove the sense, the past impression, and the virtues also. Virtues coming from dharma, doing good karma, and enjoying happiness, pleasure, going to the same restaurant and paying the money ethically. Everything is ethical. That gives me pleasure and happiness. I follow the rules of the society. That is virtues. I don't follow the rules of the society. Becomes a dharma. It gives me, all constantly there is a fear. Do you see that? So the root cause, we are going again and again. So Manisha understands clear with clarity, without any false notion that it is ignorance. And children of ignorance are these six factors. Depends on the past impression and these five group of thoughts. And where we have reached, I become the doer when I'm not the doer. I become the doer to become the enjoyer, but I'm not the enjoyer. And I still feel I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. So I do it dharma, I get happiness, virtues, I do it adharma, I get sins. Sin is nothing but sorrow, pain, uh, confusion, conflict, Error in judgment. And also, the pleasure is also error in judgment. Because I see that happiness lies there. You see, both are error in judgment. Why error in judgment? Because of foolishness, because of delusion, because of the series of the steps the mind takes: object, sense organ, likes, dislikes, attachment, detachment, then delusion, then doer and enjoyer. Where is the doer? Where is the enjoyer? There is no doer and enjoyer. You see, it is so deep rooted. It has created such a deep, indelible impact in my mind that I wake up in the morning and my mind starts running the same way. Become the doer and the enjoyer. So from where now where we the mind should go, the manisha should go, doer and enjoyer. What is hidden in that doer and enjoyer? You see the series, karma,
Suffering.
suffering, a symptom, and action part is karma. Karma is hidden in doer and enjoyer. But when I'm not the doer and enjoyer, we're still the karma. And there comes, I'm not going there to the law of karma, but we are going karma. Why karma? Because of enjoyment. Why enjoyment? Because of mind thinks it is outside. Why mind thinks that it is outside? Because mind forgets the real self. Why mind forgets the real self? Go to the six factors. Root cause is avidya. But in between, there are children, siblings, six factors, attachment, likes, dislikes, pleasure, pain, doer, enjoyer is all there, and mind forgets the real self. We come back to the same disease. The disease is avidya. One way you to say how to remove that avidya, remove the distraction to feel the emptiness, remove the past delusion. Delusion is caused by the sins and the virtues. Again, emptiness. So there are two types of emptiness. One emptiness, I am happy, no thought is disturbing me. All thoughts comes and goes, and I still feel the emptiness. Now, deeper inside, those sins are not there. No effect, no impact. Doer and enjoyer is not there. Now, the third stage of the emptiness, in that emptiness, because of that emptiness, real self is reflected there, and the real self is reflected there. Now I am settled in my real nature. Due to the practice of meditation, now this meditation has to be thrown out. Now I live into the same world with the same thoughts. Let them come and go. Let them come and go. Who cares? But I have brought an end to the suffering. Uh, the medicine of meditation has been taken properly with reference to the disease, not with reference to the fake meditation, fake medicine that we see in the TV commercial. So the same TV commercial is also takes place in our profession. Come to me, I will bless you. Why should you bless me? I don't know my disease. What I'm seeking, what I'm seeking, now see that. What I'm seeking, when I'm seeking a blessing, what I'm seeking the same pleasure outside. I go to the tantra. So those magicians tells you, I will change the nature of your wife. Hell with you. How can you change the nature of my wife? Who are you? Are you God? It does not mean, sometime it happens, but again, they take you back to the same six factors. Six factors. Why? Because I do not understand the very nature of a disease. You see, that disease is avidya. So we go to, so we also have fake medicine in our profession. So I know that. I have met more than 100 masters, and they say, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this. And they, no doubts, 1% they may do it, but ultimately, that impact of the pain returns with a greater force in your life. Why? Disease is in you. You have to remove that disease from you, not by coloring, not by blessing. So, those people who are not real seekers, they go for fake medicine because they want to remove the fake disease. So simple. It's very obvious. Let them go. So now coming back, sins and the virtues, error in judgment. One thing we should also understand before we go a little deeper, to understand that how to understand the entire journey in my day-to-day life. That is now very important because from there, Manisha should take over my life and take a right action. So, favorable and unfavorable. What is favorable? I wake up in the morning and I feel relaxed and calm. At the physical level, relaxation, mental level, no more distraction. I feel the calmness. My mind reminds me I need not to write on a computer. I need not to follow the calendar. It does not mean that I should stop writing there. Remember this. That is also very important. So the mind reminds you naturally what you have to do. So distraction is not there. You see the favorable mind. So that mind, does that mind worries when you wake up in the morning? No worries. You have lot of challenges, yes, and still the mind is calm. They are known as virtues, opposite of sins. You have followed dharma, sukha. So repetition comes. Welcome it. Start with nitya, nitya karo. Unfavorable circumstances. Opposite. You wake up anxious. One beautiful woman wrote to me, I'm going 2 hours away from my house. She lives here nearby my house, and I feel little bit of anxious. But I will do the practice. The same women who told me about the bathroom singing, which I told you earlier. Since have come unfavorable. I woke up in the morning, I feel anxious, so I separate anxiousness from myself. Okay, because of the sins, because of my foolishness, because of the avidya. Now I understand. Let me remove avidya. I have understood the root cause of my disease. I have to meditate first rather than thinking of being anxious, anger, finding the fault and the worried and a negative thought pattern. I have to remove all that. Just now, here and then. Then I will do anything in my life. Unfavorable circumstances caused by the sins, favorable circumstances caused by the virtues. You see that? So now I'm applying. These are the symptoms of the sins and the virtues. These are the symptoms, you can say, of avidya. These are the symptoms of delusion. These are the symptoms that demands me to become a doer and the enjoyer. Hold on, my mind. Now I realized you. Let me practice first. Then I will talk to you. So, from the sin, we have to move to the virtue, and from the virtue, we apply the meditation. The same thing, removal of distraction, removal of delusion. And then I established myself into that emptiness to reflect my real nature. Every day, my journey is clear, path is clear, medicine is clear. Let me continue to take. So, all our strong feelings, symptoms, thought that enters into the mind, we have categorized into two categories: favorable, unfavorable. So, from unfavorable, we go to favorable. I'm again answering your question that you were caught in Nitya and Namitya karma. No, you should not be caught. You should liberate your mind from Nitya and the Namitya karma, because there is no doer and the enjoyer, and there is no seeking of fruits of an action. That is what the Nitya and the Namitya karma is. The mind is not obsessed with anything outside. See, and the ego sense is not there. It is the ego sense, due to the delusion, is creating the doer and the enjoyer. So both are not there. Root cause, root disease. We understand the disease. That is why we take the right action. And when you take the right action, I wake up. Not today. I woke up at around 3:30 and I sat up. The mind said to me that you feel the heaviness in the body. No issue. Let me do 2 or 3 postures. Then I did certain pranayama for another 10 minutes. And I asked the mind, how are you now? I'm okay now. Let me sit in meditation. What is the previous 2 steps? After all, doctor prescribes you certain do's and don'ts when you suffer from a particular disease. So they are the do's and don'ts. Simple way. Now see the other. Do you want to increase your sense in life? Increase it. You feel heaviness. Oh, yesterday I did this thing and that is why it happened. So what should I do? Let me take a strong cup of tea and then I will go back. Then I will meditate. Now, in the meditation, you are meditating on the heaviness of your body. You are misusing the medicine. That will not work. That is why people in the people's life, the meditation sometimes does not work. It is because of this. So, what should be our journey in daily life? Manisha recognizes the favorable and unfavorable things in my daily life, either with reference to my body, mind, breath, intellect, ego, and with reference to my near and dear ones, with reference to the society, with reference to the profession. Just symptom is favorable, I can definitely move into meditation. Symptoms are unfavorable. Let me make it favorable first before I enter into meditation. No, I'm suffering from anxiety. I know that you give a very powerful meditation to drop the anxiety. I give them. They don't want to understand the disease. So, no doubt they feel relaxed. Very good. My, my profession also continues. What should I do? Because if I keep that ignorance at a deeper level, and if I'm not a seeker, then I see, okay, you want to relax, no worries, I'll help you. So, what is now? Now we have understood. Now, another step that we should take, always check if you are relaxed, calm in any and every situation.
Yeah, it's
Check.
proper. Yeah.
That 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 needs to be done before we solve any problem. Because why? Answer this question, why? Manisha will only work when the mind is relaxed and calm. Then only, the Manisha will invoke Viveka, and the Viveka will invoke right thinking. I'm giving you some of the tips which are very important. So that is another. So I have to find out whether, if I'm not relaxed, calm, then I'm not also not focused on the topic that you have asked me. And if I'm not focused on the topic, then why the hell I'm teaching? So simple. So I should remain in that. Last week I was giving a group session to the New Jersey, and she was saying that, the moment we see you, we are very happy
Yeah.
because you enjoy teaching. But I didn't say anything. And then later on, I told her that, do you think that I enjoy teaching? I'm not the teacher inside. For you, I may be a teacher. I enjoy expressing that real self with reference to your problem. That is the way I live, think, and act in my daily life. So that group always sees and they say, oh, we love you the moment we see you. So it means, think of this, that when you remain relaxed and calm in every situation, favorable and unfavorable, you are invoking Manisha. Means Manisha has an element of Viveka. Viveka knows what is real and unreal. So you are breaking the root. What is that root? Avidya, foolishness. And the Viveka comes by thinking over the real and the unreal. So you're thinking. That is what is contemplation. Thinking with reference to the knowledge that we learn. You see? Now another, check your karma. Become aware of the karma. See that it is play and a fun. So that the nitya and the namitya karma can easily be done. One thing. And we can drop the ego sense caused by the delusion. And the fruits also be understood as the way of a fun and a pleasure. Pain comes, very good. Let mind become, increase your endurance. Pleasure comes, taken as a grain of salt. Why? Pleasure outside is not the real happiness. So you are aware. That is what the one step, or we can take other step also. Always aware of the thought versus emptiness. Why? Emptiness will reveal my real nature. That is reflecting the pure and the permanent happiness. This thought has come that I have to plan for future. So the mind is excited about it. Let the mind not be excited, but be calm, and let me project everything for the future also as a play and fun. That also becomes a part of the Nitya Karma. Why? Because if I don't plan for the future, I will be punished. I told you.
Yeah, yeah,
Now you're getting it?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
Nitya
yeah.
Karma, if you don't do it, you'll be punished. You don't get any reward. If you don't do it, you are punished. If you do it, you don't get any reward. So, what happens to this mind that lives in delusion? It says, okay, why should I plan for the future? Why should I start thinking of unnecessary thoughts? So, then you will be punished. You see that? And then you are punished, and then you will come back. You will say, this is what you told me. No, root cause is avidya. Neither me nor you. Root cause is avidya. Avidya has created the delusion. The delusion has created the doer and the enjoyer. And that doer does not exist. That enjoyer does not exist. So there are many ways to put it. In in Sankhya Yoga, we say that Prakriti is totally different. Everything is done by Prakriti. You cannot do anything. Nothing can be done by you. That is the part of the Prakriti. So, the seer, then you become the witness. That is one approach. So, that we will come later. I'm just throwing that thought. And the second approach is that path of Gyan Yoga. It says the doer and the enjoyer only exist in appearance like a water in the mirrors. They do not have their separate existence because you are there. That is why it appears that you are a doer and the enjoyer. So when we mix up both the principles, from there comes the Nitya and the Naimitya karma. There comes the Nitya and the Naimitya karma. And when you do it, you enjoy, you do not only remove your sins,